Hello, everyone, and welcome to another tier list. We are making one, and is this one is regular show characters, and I'm joined with Maddox again, Camo Stag.
Have you ever done one? I was about to say, have you ever done one without me? But then I remember the old ones. I kind of forgot about them for a second.
Yeah. All right. Next up. All right. So first character, Anti Pops. Now I've watched a decent bit of regular show, but funnily enough, I actually haven't ever watched the finale. But his design seems neat, and I've heard he's pretty cool. But since I haven't actually seen it, I just going to B tier. What say you, Maddox?
Yeah. So the thing about Anti-Pops was like a pretty good villain. Like I said, or not like I said, like I'm now just saying, or like I've said before off screen, outside of this video. I don't know why I always say like I've said when I say things when it's not right after I said something. Anyway, to the last season of regular show, pretty like shit, honestly. Except for the finale, you got to the last few episodes that were pretty good. Like, I mean, it could have been better though, but overall, Anti-Pops is a pretty good villain. So I'm not gonna say S. He's not like a personal favorite of mine, but solid A.
All right. Next up, we got a bunch of baby ducks, which I didn't even realize were recurring characters. Oh, wait, I do think they show up to do like turn into like some giant duck in one episode, and they're like kind of funny, but I don't like everything to say about them really. So B.
Yeah, like the episode was funny, but like that whole like anime episode with them in it, I thought was stupid. So like, they're B.
All right. Next up, we have the everything burrito guy.
That guy S tier. He's a personal favorite, like stupid character
He is
for me.
funny. It's been a while since I've actually watched regular show, so I don't have a lot of strong, fresh like feelings in my head for like really hating or really liking something. Outside of like a few exceptions that you'll see, but I remember liking that episode, so A tier. All right, basketball coach guy. I have not seen that episode. B tier.
Good episode. Like he's a really funny character. He's a really funny design. I forgot his name, so I'm just gonna call him like the basketball coach guy. I don't remember if he actually had a name.
Yeah, I got
But
all the names for these characters off of Wikipedia when I was getting the picture, like downloading all the pictures to put in this, and I've already like immediately forgot most of their names.
I'm gonna say probably like A tier.
All right, next is Benson. He's my favorite out of like the main park crew, so S tier.
Yeah, S tier. He is probably my favorite. Between him and like Skips, maybe.
Yeah, but I Benson's like my favorite character in that show. Next up, we have the blonde guys. I don't find them particularly funny. The funniest thing in that episode is when Mordecai has the blonde hair because it just looks funny on him. So
It
B
it
tier.
was an okay episode. Like those guys are like as villains C tier.
All right, next up we have the gnome that won't give the VHS back, and
Yeah, the fucking
I
gnome
don't
from the best
remember that.
VHS in the world.
Yeah, I don't even remember that episode. So
That
B
was a
tier.
funny episode, funny villain. He's A tier. I like that little weirdo.
All right. And just for the audience trying to follow at home, the one with only Benson in S tier right now, that one is my list. The one that has Benson and Burrito Guy, that is Maddox's list. There. Now that'll make it easier for you guys to keep track. All right. Next up, we have this guy that I can't remember what he does. He has a red shirt.
Oh, the Iron
Like a,
Stomach guy who made the Mississippi Queen. Like, it was funny, and he was good for like a lot of characters in regular show. Like, not the main characters, like these villains are mostly funny just because of like the joke that they make, and like So his joke was like A tier, like this random fat guy who like calls himself FE, which was like the fucking abbreviation for iron on like the fucking table of elements or whatever. The iron stomach, he can just eat everything, you know? It was funny, you know? So like it, I don't know. He's a good like A tier character.
All right.
For that at least, yeah.
And I don't remember him, so B tier. Next up, we have the cat videos guy. I remember thinking that episode was alright, and I
It
don't
was
remember what he's
stupid. It's
like,
like
so B.
D tier. That episode's where they get like turned into cats. That episode was stupid.
So you're doing D tier?
Yeah.
Next up, the Wikipedia listed this next guy as Chong. I do not remember what episodes he's in. B tier.
Oh, Chong from the stick hockey episode.
I remember an air hockey episode. I don't actually remember who's the
No, there
antagonists
is
in that
no air
one.
hockey. It's stick hockey.
No, I know there's one about them playing on an air hockey table.
No, it's a stick hockey table. That's the whole point. There's no air hockey episode. It's
Huh.
stick hockey.
Well, that just
Like a
shows how
stick.
much I don't remember it.
Yeah, I guess. Does tell what you don't remember it.
Also, you
Uh,
got the FE guy wrong. I see the FE shirt on the next guy, so
Wait,
this
then who the fuck was the other guy?
here, I'll go into my file explorer.
Oh
And
wait, no, that's the karaoke guy.
oh yeah, I remember the
Okay, I'm
karaoke
not gonna lie.
episode.
I'm gonna change a few things.
I don't
As
remember
far
what
as
he's
character,
like, but I remember
he,
them singing "We're
funny
Not Gonna
episode, but
Take
like
It" is funny.
as a villain, like B.
Yeah, because I see the FE guy is up next on the
Yeah,
list.
and FE is actually B too. Like I was kind of exaggerating when I was calling him A.
Oh yeah, but what do you say for Chong? Stick hockey
Also
guy.
B. It
All
was
right,
a
so
funny episode, but like still, as a villain, he wasn't like too memorable. Just a good villain.
all right, and you're putting Iron Stomach in B tier as well.
Yeah.
And Iron Stomach and B tier for me as well. All right, next up we have CJ, which I think is annoying and was like
B.
the turning
Hate
point
CJ.
for regular
Fucking hate
shows
CJ.
starting to be like not as good. Like when they started focusing on the CJ Margaret Mordecai love triangle,
Oh
it
my
just wasn't
gosh.
good. D
It
tier.
was yeah, it
And
was
she's just
stupid.
annoying in every episode she's in. And you
Yeah,
agree it's D
seriously,
tier?
she contributes nothing.
All right, next up we have the coffee guys from
Oh,
the.
those guys are S tier.
All right, yeah, I'd put them in A tier. I really like that episode. The fist pump episode is a really good episode. They're very funny. Next up, we have the country club boss, which I actually have a video of, uh, with the paralyzer, and he gets turned into
Yeah,
the
it was the
toilet.
toilet memes back when we were making those.
Yeah, I remember because I remember I watched that episode and I was like, wait, he got turned into a toilet, and there was the paralyzer meme just happened to be going on at that time, so I was like, all right, I'll make this. And like, I mean, like, it's not like a particularly amazing
B,
video, but I have fondness for. You said B.
yeah.
Yeah, I have
It was an alright episode.
I don't even remember the episode that much. But I have a bit of fondness for the character just because I made a video out of it. So like low A tier. All right, next up, I think his name was Gary on the list. He was like, well, no, Gary was the good one. This is David, the evil one.
Yeah, the black guy one.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't think I
Also B,
watched.
just like a serviceable guy.
Yeah, I don't think I watched that episode with him. You said B as well. All right, next up we have Death Bear. I have not seen that episode, so B tier.
A tier. That was a great villain. Looks like he was dumb, but like regular show villains are supposed to be kind of stupid. So
Next up we have Death. I remember him being a pretty funny villain. A tier.
S, him being fucking S tier.
He was pretty funny. Next up we have Destroyer of Worlds. That episode was another one of my favorites. Back when I was like, the time I watched regular show the most was I had this like stretch of time where I was sick for like 2 weeks and I just watched a whole bunch. I also watched like some random Korean news channel because it came on randomly. Like, I don't even remember how it came on, but I remember I just sat there like half awake watching it for like a whole day. I think I had like the COVID thingy. Wasn't very fun. Uh, but Destroyer of Worlds guy, yeah, since I at least remember that episode, and I think it's a funny episode, A tier.
It was B. Like, it's a good episode and all, but there's better villains.
Right, next up we have Dawn, which is just
A
a
tier.
hilarious A tier for both of us, it sounds. Right.
Yeah.
Next is Doug the Disguiser. I have not actually seen that episode, so B tier.
A tier. That was a great episode. He's a good villain.
Next up we have the Duck Collector guy, which is pretty funny.
Not
B
B
tier.
still, though. Like, not quite
Yeah,
A or
also,
anything.
I think I was more just like enthused that I was finally a character I recognized after all these villains that I didn't. But yeah, Destroyer of Worlds is also going down to B tier. Alright, next up we have Eileen.
The only interesting female character in the show, A tier. She was one of the only things, like, when the show was more serialized, it got worse, but so the Eileen development was actually pretty good, unlike the CJ Margaret development. So Eileen's like actually A tier, not quite S tier, but solid A tier.
I've only seen a couple Eileen episodes and she just seemed perfectly serviceable to me. She was just always like the girl that worked with Margaret. And like there's like a few later season episodes I watched that had her like with Rigby, but like they didn't really like show much of her personality. They did she would just seem kind of like average and serviceable. All right, next up we have Father Time. I remember that episode, but I don't actually remember much. Actually, I don't remember that episode. I just remember that he's in it. So B tier.
Probably B. Yeah, he wasn't. He was all right. That episode was decent. It was decent.
Next up, we have the game store manager. That one was one of my favorite episodes, and also like when they defeat him and like they stick the ruler in him, and he's like, "Oh no, it's okay. You can have your refund." And they're like, are you sure you're okay, dude? He was pretty funny. I'm putting him in A tier. No refunds is a fun, or the episode is called "But I Have a Receipt." But that's a funny episode. A
It was, it was a
tier.
decent episode. He's B.
All right, next up we have Gary. Um, he's pretty funny, like in his design and like the fact that he exists.
He's my favorite out of those like Guardian guys. Like he's kind of on the same team as those baby guys. So
Oh yeah,
he's
I
A
definitely
tier.
like him more than the babies.
Yeah, the babies are just they're fucking ugly looking, so I don't like them.
Yeah, I think Gary is uh I don't know, like high B. Like above all the guys that I don't know, but I'd still put him in B tier even if I knew all these guys. Alright, next up we have but he's like high B. Next up we have the it's Jerry Ferguson.
Garrett Bobby Ferguson, S tier
Right.
villain.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely S tier.
this is his son, the one is Junior.
Oh, Junior, Exit 9B is like a good episode, but it's kind of overrated. So like he's like a B tier villain.
I don't think I've seen that episode. B tier. And then next is regular Jarrett Bobby Ferguson.
He's S.
I also don't remember him, so B tier. Next up we have Gene.
A tier. He's actually a side. He was a side character introduced. I forgot what he was introduced. I forgot if it was 3 or 4. He was actually pretty good. I like that like mini war they have going on with the other park, the Twin Pines.
I
But then they
remember it.
become like friends, and it kind of like ruins it. Like, why are they friends? It was fun because they were fighting, but whatever, you know.
I remember it existing, but not much other than that, so B tier.
Yeah,
High five Ghost.
we probably shouldn't have made this tier list because you just like didn't remember most of the guys, but we're making it anyway. Oh, High Five Ghost is like he exists, I guess. So like B.
Yeah, maybe next time we can
It's
do
pretty.
Futurama or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. We will
somewhere
we'll figure
where
something else.
somewhat. We need to, next time we'll just do a show where the two of us are like equally versed in it.
Yeah, you're a lot more versed than regular. So, High Five Ghost, I think he's decently funny. He's more just a guy for Muscle Man to work off of, and Muscle Man's funny, but he serves his purpose well, so I'm gonna put him in high B tier. Right, next up is the babies, Guardians of Eternal Youth. I think they're
I hate their
usually.
designs. Like they're weird, they're really uncanny looking. So like,
I think
I don't
most.
know.
I don't know. I don't really care for them that much. I don't really like most of the episodes about them. Except for like the first one where Skips goes, and then like the Skips backstory one was a
Oh,
decent
that's a good one.
episode.
Yeah.
Then that has the babies in them, but yeah. Aside from that, I don't really care too much about them as characters. And like I have a slight like annoyance for them. Like usually I'm like, why do we have to have these guys around? So I'm going C tier.
Yeah, I hate the way they look. That's why I put them in C tier.
All right. Next up we have the cartel guy. I do not know him, so B tier.
He was pretty funny, so like A tier.
All right. Next up we have the evil baby guy, which I remember being kind of funny in the Skip's backstory episode, but I don't remember him in any other episode, so B tier.
Yeah, like, he's a bit more interesting, but I still hate his design.
All right, next up is the Excellent Knight. Excellent Hat is one of the best episodes, so he's in A
Like,
tier.
yeah, the Knight's B because like he wasn't the best part of the episode, but it is a great episode.
Next up, we have Leon. That's one of the random names I remembered from reading
Dude,
the
A tier.
Wikipedia.
Like he was in for like 5 seconds, but he's still A tier.
Yeah, the Slacker Benson episode is pretty great. But I'm still just gonna put him in B tier. He just serves his purpose. All right, next up is the Limosaurus. I haven't seen that episode, so B tier.
I mean, he did its job, so like B.
Next up is Margaret.
B. She was like serviceable. Like she did her job good, and that's really all they should have done with her. Like there was no need to expand that story as much as they did.
Yeah, in the early seasons, it works out fine. She's just like Mordecai's like, oh, I gotta impress Margaret, so I'll do this thing, and that's like how he gets into like that's so like sometimes that's a driving force for him to do something, but it's not like super obnoxious. It has more of like just like a regular sitcom type setup rather than being
Yeah.
like the main focus of the story. So it's fine, B tier. Next up is Muscle Man's mom, which I only remember the Halloween costume in the Halloween episode. I don't think I've actually seen the episode where we see her normally, so B tier.
Oh, she didn't like do anything like B. I don't know. You put on list like she had like one joke, so like B, I guess.
I put her on because Muscle Man says my mom a lot. All right, next up we have the classic Mordecai.
He's good. I don't want to lump him up with all these like random side characters. He's. I feel like if we had a list with just main characters, he'd be B. But because we have so many guys on this list, I'll put him in A. Just because like I don't want to lump him down like that. You know?
Fair enough. I think he I think he's usually pretty funny. I know he can get kind of obnoxious in the later seasons, but I didn't watch many of those. Most of what I know is like some of the episodic episodes from later seasons where he's not just talking about Margaret, and then the early seasons he's actually pretty funny. Like
Oh yeah, he's not as good as Rigby,
he's
but
kind of a jerk, but I usually think he's pretty funny, so I'm putting him up in S tier. Next up is Mr. Maylard. He's a great recurring villain, A tier.
yeah, A tier. He's more of like he's not quite a villain, but he's kind of like a
At least
dick.
an antagonist.
Yeah.
Next is Mr. Ross, the guy from the movie that I have not seen, so B
Oh, I
tier.
don't. A movie was like C tier. I don't know. That movie was kind of not that good.
Is that also where he goes?
Yeah.
Alright. Next up is Muscle Man's brother, who I only remember from the first My Mom episode, so B
It's
tier.
B. He does his thing.
Next up is Muscle Man himself. He is, I think, hot take, he's overrated. He's still very funny, but like, people always act like he's the best part of the show when he's just a really funny part of the show. A tier.
He's A tier.
I think he's a bit overrated, but he's still deserving of like, yeah, he's still pretty funny. Next up, we have.
I think there's a reason why he's not as main as Mordecai and Rigby. but he's still pretty good.
Yeah. Next up, we have Night Owl from that one D.
He
When
was
he's
an A
the
tier villain.
Yeah, he was a pretty good villain. A tier. Then we have No Rules Guy, which you talk about a lot, but I actually don't remember that episode, so B tier.
S tier. Love that guy.
Then we have Party Pete. He is probably one of my favorite one-off villains. So
S.
S tier. Yeah, he's not even really that much of a villain. He's just kind of like an awkward party guy, and then he doesn't stop partying. He's not as like directly antagonistic as some of the other
Yeah,
villains.
they actually have to like help him in the sequel episode.
Oh, there's a sequel. I thought he exploded and died at the end of that episode of the
Yeah, they
first
like
one.
fucking froze him and like cloned him. It was kind of stupid.
Yeah, it sounds kind of dumb. Like, not everything needs a sequel episode.
The show was running out of steam. That's
Honestly,
why.
lots of episodic shows get that way. Like SpongeBob, they have so many sequel episodes now. I haven't watched them, but like, I watched LS Mark's video on ranking all the SpongeBob episodes. I didn't watch it all in one sitting. I watched it in a bunch of different sittings. Like I usually watch
How
one
long
season
is
at a
that
time.
video?
Like 4 hours. It was like I watched like
You
a bit every
fucking
day.
watched that?
It's like I watched like 20, 30 minutes every day. It was like watching a regular, like, like most people set aside 20, 30 minutes if
Yeah,
they're
man, you
watching
watched
TV.
30 minutes of a guy ranking Sponge. That I don't know, man.
I
That's
don't
a
know.
little weird.
It was kind of fun. Plus, it was neat to hear a bit about some of the other SpongeBob episodes that I never was ever gonna get around to
Yeah,
watching.
I just stopped caring about SpongeBob. I'm
Oh yeah,
done. I'm done with
I
SpongeBob.
did. I stopped like really super caring, but like it was still kind of neat. Plus, Alice Mark I think is a pretty funny dude in general.
He's
But
okay, I guess. He's kind of boring, honestly. But I mean, you do you. You can
But
watch who
yeah,
you want to
anyways,
watch.
where I was going with that was like near the end of his ranking, he was like, "Oh, this episode's a sequel to Bubble Buddy. This episode's a sequel to blah blah." Like they made so many sequel episodes
And they were
recently.
bad. They were
Oh yeah, they're bad.
shit.
Whenever an episodic show runs out of ideas, they just make a bunch of sequel episodes.
Yeah,
Sometimes
and
a
they're never good.
sometimes a sequel episode is actually earned, like Futurama making Anthology of Interest 2. That's a good sequel episode.
Yeah, usually though it's just like let's bring back a character that people liked because it'll get their attention, but generally it's like, oh, that was like the first time but less good. Like that's usually the afterthoughts. Oh, that's just less good,
Yeah. I,
which is just sad.
I
I
feel like
don't
there's
think there was
some
a
good
single
sequel
good.
episodes
I don't think
when
there were any regular show episodes that were sequels that were actually good. Like let me think. Like I don't really think there was. Most of the times a villain died, and that's just it. They like died. Like they had the sandwich of death guy come back, and it was like, okay. Like sometimes what made regular shows so funny was like, and usually I'm not always like, oh, random funny. It's funny because it's random. Regular show made stuff that was funny because it was random because it was like, I don't know. They were creative with it.
it worked
And
with the show.
sometimes it,
Like,
sometimes the funny, I worked at the show. Sometimes it was funny because like this really weird guy would exist, and then they kind of just they wouldn't expand on it too much. They were just kind of there, and sometimes if regular, and it just wasn't that deep. But sometimes that's what was good. It's just not that deep. And then regular show tried to like make it too deep, and it was like, oh, okay, that was weird, and the magic was just kind of gone.
yeah. Next up is Pops.
He's A tier. Like he's a little overrated, but I still like him.
I don't really like him that much. Like, whenever, like, he has a few. He's only funny when there's like, when they like make a one-off joke in an episode, like when he shows up and like he just does something kind of dumb or funny. But like when there's so many episodes, even in the early show when it was good, that focused too much on Pops and like his joke doesn't work outside of like being there for one or two scenes. And he just really overstays his welcome most of the time, so C tier.
Damn, I hate Pops.
He's just kind of annoying. Like the joke of being stupid and like there can be stupid and silly guys. Like almost all the guys are stupid and silly, but like the style of Pops is like stupid silliness. It just gets like
He's
it's
not
good for
stupid.
like
He's just like unaware, really.
Well, yeah, but like basically like the pop style of humor works in like small doses. It doesn't work to be the main thing in a full episode. Next up is the master prank caller. Great episode, S tier guy.
Yeah, he's S tier.
Next up is Rigby.
Yes.
I think
He's definitely better than like Mordecai.
I I think there's some episodes he shines better, and then some episodes he's kind of annoying. So I'm putting him in A tier.
I think Mordecai is more annoying, but I
Oh
mean,
no,
hey.
I'm mainly thinking about the episodes that I've seen, which is like early show. I know Mordecai gets more annoying later, but in the early show, Mordecai is like kind of annoying and like kind of a douche. And Rigby, like sometimes he's just really
Mordecai is
funny and
more of just like an everyman. I think Rigby is just more like an enjoyably unique character, and
I don't know.
Mordecai is just
Usually,
kind of like
lots of the time, Rigby's just kind of annoying. He does that thing where like he just causes a problem for the sake of starting the story, and like sometimes the episode points it out, and sometimes it doesn't. Uh,
he's funny. I think Mordecai is just more of like an everyman guy. He's not as interesting.
A lot of the time, I think like there's some times when Rigby's really good, like in the first Death Kwon Do, he's pretty funny. But in a lot of episodes, he's either just kind of, I think he's just kind of average, or he's kind of annoying. Like when Mordecai and Rigby are butting heads, I almost always would rather see Mordecai win.
No, Mordecai like pisses me off. Like he that's why like people complain about the unicorn episode because it picks on Mordecai, but like I don't really care about that. I just think the unicorn's
Well, it's
jokes are
not
just
the
like
unicorns aren't funny at all. I
like
don't mind.
Mordecai. It's kind of nice when Mordecai like loses because like he's kind of annoys me.
I don't know. I guess maybe that's. I think it's that you and Benji like Rigby more because I think you and Benji are more Rigby type people,
Yeah,
and I guess maybe I just see more of the things that kind of annoy me about Rigby type stuff when I'm watching Rigby.
that's
Since I'm not personal
funny.
since I'm not personal friends with Rigby, I see more of the annoying stuff. But I'm personal friends with you guys.
Maybe it's because you're friends with us, and Rigby just reminds you of the annoying shit that we do.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But he's still a well written character and he's well done, so A tier. It's just that I was just saying I don't like him as much as Mordecai, so that's why he's not S tier. Alright, next up we have, speaking of Death Kwon-do, I mentioned that a bit ago, the Death Kwon-do Sensei. He doesn't do a lot in that episode, but he's generally pretty funny. Like the death punch of death, the death dump.
Yeah,
Like the
so
fact
like
that he just
A.
wrote all that in his journal, he's A tier.
I also like how it's like an ancient book, but it's actually like a one of those like dollar store like spiral binder books with like the lines and everything.
Yeah. Next up, Skips.
S tier. It's in between like him and Benson. I don't know which one's my favorite, but it's one of those guys.
Uh, I think he's pretty funny. I think a lot of the times when he shows up, he's not as great. Like he just kind of shows up to be the guy to fix something, and it's all right. Some of the episodes that focus on him, like that focus too much on the Guardians of Youth thing, I don't really like those episodes as much. But like his backstory episode is a really good episode, and I'm sure there's some other ones that I like. Like when he shows up, he's not usually annoying. Oh wait, the arm wrestling one was a pretty funny Skips episode, but he's not like a personal favorite. He's just a pretty good A tier. Next up, we have the Were Skunk, which I've not seen that episode, so B tier.
He's A tier. He was good.
All right, next up we have Camo Stag. It's actually
Yeah. Oh,
Stag Man, but
this guy is like S tier. He's one of my favorite villains.
obviously you gotta put yourself in S tier. Yeah, I haven't seen that episode. I just know that his name is Stag Man, and saying Camo Stag Man is funny, but B tier because I haven't actually seen it. Next, Starla.
D tier. She's just gross.
She's usually just kind of annoying. I'm putting her in C tier.
Annoying and gross.
Next up is Steph. which I have not seen. I think she's in the movie for a bit, and then she's in the
No,
finale.
she's not in the
Oh,
movie.
she's
She's
only in the
only in
finale?
the finale, and she doesn't talk or do anything.
Yeah, I don't remember. I haven't
I
seen
think
that.
C tier, just because they put her in the finale at the very end without having any development, and then she just marries Mordecai. I guess like that was weird.
Yeah, it does seem a bit weird not to, especially with all the rom-drom stuff they were doing. They should have like put her in like the final season or something, make her do something.
Yeah, I know.
So that is wasted potential, but
Like C.
I'm not but I'm not like totally broken up over it because I stopped caring about the regular show story past like season 5. So I'm putting it. No, season 4 was probably when I stopped caring about the story. So B.
Yeah, it got stupid.
I don't keep track of seasons very well, but like when CJ got introduced, I stopped caring. Also, I just want to take a side note real fast. I really like a lot of these guys that I put in B tier. I really like the character design style of regular show. Like it has a really good art style, and like aside
Yeah,
from the
it's got a lot of creative designs. I agree.
like I like
It's one of my
the
favorite parts of the show.
because like a lot of these guys in B tier, like the guy from like that movie villain guy, he looks cool. The basketball guy that looks funny. Evil Pops that looks funny. Like there's some like a lot of the villains here some like actually are like really well designed characters, and I feel like I might have put some of them higher if I've actually seen the episodes they're from. Maybe who knows? Maybe something Maddox. We should just rewatch all of regular show together and then do this list again.
Yes, we should.
Yeah, we should. I've honestly kind of wanted to like rewatch a show, but I haven't known what to rewatch. Closest I've been doing is I've been showing my niece and nephew Transformers, the '80s one, the good one. Well, there's other good ones like animated is good. I kind of want to watch animated through because I never finished that. I have nostalgia for
Yeah,
watching
same.
I have some nostalgia for watching episodes when they were airing on TV when I was like a little kid, and like the intro. And I did start a rewatch like years ago, but I didn't even finish season 1. But I've always wanted to like fully watch that show. Dude, there's some like weird noise coming from your end. Are you like in a room with people like watching TV or something?
What?
There's like a bunch of weird like crackly noise.
Oh, yeah, never mind. Never mind that.
I think you're in an echoey room and my audio is echoing back into your mic and that's what's sounding weird. That's cancer. Alright, we're in the final 5, by the way.
Yeah.
I think there's only like one more S tier worthy character in this final 5. So next we have Susan. The Slacker Benson episode is a classic.
Yeah,
oh, I just realized.
Like,
Thinking about more regular show episodes, I actually know. I should have put the giant eyeball guy from the episode where they're always watching you.
oh yeah, and we also should have put Muscle Dad Ghost.
I don't
That
know
was a
that
good
guy.
episode.
I'd put that ghost in B tier because I don't know who he's talking about.
No, we should have waited to make this tier list. I should have rewatched it with you, and then we should have made it.
Who knows? Well,
Maybe we'll remaster it, you guys.
We'll just do it again after we watch it, and then like my cat just walked in and he's yelling all loud, and we can also see if anything from your list changes.
Yeah, it might.
All right, but yeah, Susan. Funny episode. The fact that they all turn into Susan is funny, but like she just does her job fine. It's not like she's like a super funny character. Funniest part is Benson slacking. Next up, we have the British Taxi. Hello, governor.
A tier.
He is a classic villain. I'm putting him up in like high A.
Yes.
Also, if we did put the eyeball from We're Always Watching You, that's one of my favorite episodes. He'd probably be an S tier.
Yeah, the peeps.
Yeah, the eyeball. Next time I'll remember that. You know what?
That's his name. His name's Peeps.
Oh, Peeps. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because he runs the Peeps company. That's his name. His name is Peeps.
yeah. Maybe we can like actually like plan that like we watch these together like maybe like over voice call and like I can get like a notebook and I can like write down what I think of the villain of that
Well, yeah. Do you
episode.
have like Hulu on your computer?
Yeah.
How
We
would you
can't
think they'll
st-
let you screen share it, or?
we
Well, yeah,
can
you probably can. You just can't like stream it on Discord, but we don't use Discord for this anyway. So
yeah, we can try that out. All right, anyways, next up, final 3. Tecmo. I remember thinking he was like
okay,
I didn't watch the episode where they introduced him, but I remember seeing some episodes where he comes back and they're like, "Oh, it's Tecmo." But I don't really know much about him, so B
he's
tier.
B. I don't really care about him.
All right, next up, Thomas. Best thing I can say about him is he's voiced by
C,
Sonic.
C.
I think he's just like a perfectly alright, like regular guy that stands
He
there.
was boring. Like he was a high five ghost tier, like boring. And then like they gave him this weird like spy arc, and I'm like, this is stupid. You didn't make him interesting, guys. He's still boring.
Yeah, I haven't seen the spy arc, but I think from what since I haven't seen that, when he's just regular boring guy, he's just an average B tier. I feel like they underutilized him. With how crazy things get, having a regular guy to be like, oh, I don't know, like, do
Yeah, no, not really. Like they usually were all pretty. He sucks. Like D tier,
like he
honestly.
could have
He's
been
D tier.
like
I hate him. He's D tier.
he could have been like
No,
that.
he's C because I don't hate him as much as like CJ. He's just boring. So he's
The
C. He's not quite
final
D.
one. We already talked about these guys before. The unicorns. That episode
B.
is like the only bad season 1 episode as far as I know. It's D
Oh
tier,
yeah,
absolutely. And you said D tier as well.
yeah,
All right, so you guys know the screen you're looking at now. This one is Maddox's tier list. I don't feel like reading it all off, so you can pause and
yeah.
look
Because
through
we're
if you
gonna
weren't
like
paying
probably go to
attention.
bed.
Then this one you're looking at right now, this one is my tier list. B section is a lot bigger. Maybe after we rewatch regular show, we can come back and do this again. We'll probably do like King of the Hill or Futurama next. However, if you guys have any ideas for shows that you'd like to see us rank, go ahead and just put them down below in the comments.
Yeah. If we haven't seen them, like we won't rank it because we haven't seen the show.
But there's no harm in
But
trying. There's no harm in telling
yeah, yeah.
us.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and we'll comment. Like I'll reply to your comment if like if we won't do it, I'll go ahead and reply like haven't seen it or something. Or maybe instead of replying to the comment, I might just say it in the beginning of the next tier list since we will be making another tier list no matter whatever show we end up
Probably.
doing.
Yeah. We make these when we get bored. So
Yeah. Well, anyways, I think that's all for tonight. It's close to midnight.
yeah, I'm gonna take a shower and hit the sack, and
I'm
then
just
maybe
gonna hit the
sleep.
shack, not the sack, and then probably take a shower in the morning tomorrow.
All right.
All right,
Good
see
night.
y'all in the next video. Good
Everyone
night.
seems to leave in the building.
Good night.
Yeah.